Find your path with the knowledge of others and become an illuminator for those who struggle. Guide their way just by being true and being in alignment, because it comes naturally to you. On self-discovery wisdom, we share to find inspiration with lessons for millions. We hope you listen.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of For the Love of Music, right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I am your host, Sarah Troy. My wonderful guest today is Celeste. Celeste Walmsley, as she is known in her other life, which is all about laser hair removal. And we did do a show on that and the importance of it. People who have struggles with either the lack of hair or too much hair, or the LGBTQ who would like to have some hair removal. That show covers all of that and all the obstacles she's had herself. So please come back and listen to that. But this show today is about what she has done for selfdiscoverywisdom.com. She's created a song. Light Your Path, a song for self-discovery wisdom. And it's a beautiful song, and it's going to be our intro and our exit. She has written and produced this song, though she's not singing it herself. She is a performer, a singer known as Celeste the Voice, but right now it's just the Celeste hat as the producer and the songwriter. It's filled with beautiful, upbeat and positive words and very, very inviting, and you will be hearing it at the end of the show in its debut. She captures the essence of the journey inward, and the angelic voice that she's brought up is uplifting, joyful tones. And she reminds us that the self-discovery journey begins with listening, learning, and allowing inspiration to guide us. Music reflects the wisdom that's shared through lived experiences, encouraging each of us to find our own path, and in doing so, become the light for others. It is both a gentle invitation, a joyful celebration, calling us to move, to feel, and to dance together as we illuminate our way forward. She's a songwriter and a performer, a unique range of vocal style, of a smooth love of songs to powerhouse ballads, and it clearly sets her apart. And she has called the voice for a good reason. And we will share one of her songs here that she has sung in the past. And she's not performing so much at the present moment, as her other job is really taking it up, but she is writing songs for other people. And we'll get back to performance when anybody actually particularly wants her. But as I said, we're going to play out the song as we close out the show. And I think you will agree with me that how inviting it is and how it speaks to everything that self-discovery wisdom represents. And basically she's been interviewed, she's listened to the show, she met me, so it was just a little synopsis of what I wanted, and she's produced it very, very well, really representing what we stand for here. So I'd like you to welcome Celeste back to the show. Hi, hon.
Hi everyone.
So, I mean, yes, just quickly touch a little bit of synopsis of the show that we did on the laser hair therapy that you do, just so people who are listening may have this issue. You obviously are working with people in Nanaimo or Qualicum Beach here on British Columbia, Vancouver Island. It's a good reason to come. And but just a little bit of what you do there, and then we'll get into the music side.
Sure. What I do is I specialize in laser hair removal and laser skin rejuvenation. So obviously anybody with excess body hair, and like you said, or you mentioned, I do specialize with women who have polycystic ovary syndrome and trans women, because we tend to have a lot of facial hair. Mm-hmm. And so I know how that personally feels, and just kind of have a special place in my heart for women that are challenged with that and dealing with that. And then the skin rejuvenation side is basically I can fade spots, dots, and whatnots on people's faces, hands, and neck, and that type of thing. So I've been doing that for 3 years as of January 1st. So woot woot, I just had a 3-year anniversary. And I serve basically Vancouver Island, like central Vancouver Island. And so that's it in a nutshell.
And come back to the show to hear more in depth about it and her journey as to what led her to doing it in the first place. But your heart and soul is very much into music, and known as Celeste, the voice. Where did your music career start?
Uh, it's kind of funny. I went to a wedding, I think I was 18 or 19, and they had pseudo karaoke. And I say pseudo because they really didn't have karaoke, but the DJ had some music tracks of particular songs, which I guess technically would be considered karaoke.
Hmm.
And I just went up there and I sang a Vanessa Williams song, and everybody was shocked, and so was I.
Discovery.
Yeah, self-discovery.
Yeah.
That's really honestly how it kind of opened my eyes to like, ooh, I can sing and I enjoy this. And I've sort of had I started pursuing it probably like in my early 20s and went into probably my early 30s to mid 30s, and managed myself and did a lot of performing on the mainland is where I lived at the time. And yeah, so it's, but when you do everything, when you're the manager and the singer and the creative person, you burn out. Because
Yes.
and I was able to do everything. So typically with artists, they're usually the artist, the creator, and then they need somebody to do like the management part,
Hmm.
business part, and that kind of thing. And my mom did help me at some point. She was part of my Star One management, is what
Hmm.
we created. I was her one star.
Good mums.
And so she helped, booking gigs and things like that, and helped me with some of the marketing. And then I took over myself, and yeah, and then you just kind of grow up. If it doesn't pick up enough that you can survive off of it, then you have to get a day job and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But establishing my business has allowed me now to take time and do the creative part,
Hmm.
and just discovering that I have a band in a box in a program,
Hmm.
that I've been able to create over 50 songs,
Mm.
is just probably the past 3 to 6 months. So it's nice. It's having the tools, because in the past I would write, and I would write with a ukulele or piano, and that's all it would be. It was just that one instrument. And I'm a great lyricist, so I can come up with lyrics
Mm.
for a lot of things. But my challenge was having musicians to work with and go, well, could you add some guitar, because my ukulele playing is just wonderful. And but I was fortunate to have musicians in my back pocket that were professional, that I could go to and say, hey, this is my song, can you do an arrangement around it? So an arrangement would be all the instruments and all that type of thing, right? But coming to the island, I didn't really have that resource, but also it takes time and it takes money.
Yes.
So I just had my songs in my phone with, like, the microphone recorder
Hmm.
thing, recorded, so that I had melodies and the lyrics, and like I was singing it usually to either just a bit of piano or ukulele. So having the app now, it does the whole band.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
really kind of stepped up my ability to produce something and go, here you go, here's a complete song.
Right. And which is what you have done for us. And when you sent it to me, it's like we're going to talk about each verse because I want people to know the words that you've written here and how it is so apropos here for what we do. But it's you've brought it up, but just the whole music, going in. It's very invitive. It's very upbeat. It's very cheerful. And then, you've got this wonderful way of just keeping it rhythmic, but at the same time allowing the words to speak, which
Yeah,
is very often gets lost. The music takes over, or and really, quite honestly, what we really wanted here was something that did represent the words, and what it was about. And so you've really covered it very well. I'm going to share the first verse that you've done with Light Your Path, which is we all have to start somewhere, even if it's small, but taking inspiration from our conversations, we can make a difference for all. Which right there, of course, conversations is what we're all about here on this podcast thing, and it's through these conversations that we do make a difference. So right there in that first chorus there, you've first verse, you've got it all right there, which is that's the invitation to listen to the conversation. So,
right. And at times it's just a nugget
mm,
get from each conversation. That's why I meant about starting small, is that
mm,
you don't have to have this huge, impactful, life-changing podcast that you listen to. But I know if people listen to your podcast every time you release one, I'm
hmm.
sure there's a nugget each
Yes,
time that they can build upon to make a big impact for all.
yes.
So Yeah.
Precisely, precisely. You know, I always say if you only get one thing from a podcast, that's one thing you didn't have before, and it can pivot you in the right direction. And of course, my mottos with my show is listen, learn, and apply. And there's always something you listen to that you've learned, and that when you apply it, oh, look, you know, look where I'm going, or look at the observation where I'm seeing things differently. And that's what it's about. It's not about, as you said, the massive leaps. It's great if somebody actually is ready to leap, but it is about steady as you go, step by step,
Hmm.
which is all about it. So
Hmm.
that very apropos is a wonderful way to start off. And then for the chorus, is find your path with the knowledge of others. They become an illuminator for those who struggle. And that is the point, you know, is when people share their light, and most people who share their light have known their darkness,
Mm.
right? They discovered their light through their courage and their strength and their abilities, and through that became light that now shines bright for other people on their path. And
Hmm.
that's what it's about. We learn through other people's struggles. And it sheds light on our own struggle, but not in a way that we have to suffer through it, but the way we actually find a path forward with it.
Right. Yeah. No, it's a great point. Like there are, I mean, you do interview like specialists and things. Sometimes
Mhm.
somebody is now at a point of specialist or specialization, or they've perfected something and that. And I think that's where, those are luminaries, and a
Mm.
person, who isn't one at a time and they are struggling, we tend to sort of become specialists in whatever
Mm.
we were struggling in when you figure it out. I mean, if you're still
Yes.
struggling, no. But so, yeah, I like the idea of when someone glows with knowledge, right? They're an
Yeah.
illuminator. They are automatically lighting path. If people follow them, the path is lit. Just
Yes.
follow them, right? So, yeah.
And that's the thing, is that when you're in the dark, sometimes you don't see the light. And so when it is shining bright, it is that invitation to move out. So the next verse that you have here is guide their way just by being true, by being authentic, because it becomes naturally to you.
Right.
And that is the thing, is that from my own shows, I'm not interested in the rah-rah. I'm interested in the authentic people that are willing to
Right.
share their vulnerability,
Right.
the how, the why, what they had to go through to become who they are today. And
Mhm.
that really is that authenticity that we want, because that's when we connect to that, we resonate with that.
Right. And the alignment, you were wanting the alignment as well,
Mm.
is that I guess they're aligned with their true self
Yes.
so that they present that forward. So, yeah, I think that's where the lyrics were changed there for alignment.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And then it just shows that when somebody else has made that alignment, through authenticity, that in the beautiful, strife and struggles, they became authentic, and that is in their alignment, and that is permission to be your authentic self. You don't have to be anyone else,
Right.
which is really, really important. So,
You're
yes,
the only specialist in you. Like,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And, you have another verse here, which we share about our lives so others can find inspiration with lessons and wisdom. We hope you listen, which, again, I always say invitation begets inspiration begets invitation. So if we hope you listen, and you can't learn unless you're willing to listen, right? So, and that's the people that are coming on, like yourself, with the whole um, hair challenges you had yourself, going bald at the top and having a beard,
Mhm.
right? So, that can have an awful lot of struggles in going through that, mostly through the stigma and judgment of other people, right? And, how to deal with that. But through those struggles, you found a solution, and now you're helping other people,
Mhm.
face it themselves, and to say there is always a solution if we're willing to listen,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is really, really important. And I'm just making sure I haven't lost myself here. Oh, yes. So the chorus again is find your path with the knowledge of others, then become an illuminator for those who struggle. And, we've talked about that light and the struggle. And then another verse, guide the way just by being true, by being authentic, because it becomes naturally you, which is what we've talked about before. But I don't think people actually understand where their empowerment really is in life. It is about being true. When you've found the courage to be you, really to be true to who you are, true as to why you are and what you're here to do. That's the authenticity, that's your strength, that's your courage, that's your ability. And that's when you really can stand tall in front of someone. I am who I am, and I stand tall with myself. And that's, again, that permission for other people to say, you can too, which
Hmm.
is really important. So, I mean, the fact that what I did give you in all of this, just from our shows on knowing each other, everything that you've come up with, then the bridge, you hear what it is meant for you to take and pave your own path with the light of many luminaries before you, with wisdom so vast. And, that is it in a nutshell. Wisdom so vast, ready for the download.
Yeah.
Um, so, how, I mean, did you just let all of this download in yourself?
Honestly, like, because you gave me a few sort of cue points of what you
Mm-hmm.
wanted. And I think that, I think one of the, trying to find the right word, but I'll just be really blunt. One of the smartest things a songwriter can do, dumb it down. So
Yeah.
what happens sometimes is somebody wants just too much information in a song,
Mm,
and sometimes you have to just go, well, what's the point?
mm,
And I guess that the point was, we talk, people listen, and they learn.
yes.
And so then what does that look like? And I just kind of went metaphorically of like a
Mm,
luminary, somebody with a, like, who's lighting a path.
mm-hmm.
Follow me. I've been through, like, if you follow me, you'll learn. And so, because I think you had mentioned either illuminaries or wisdom and guides, like people who are
Yes, wisdom and guide and illumination are very much in the words
illuminating.
that,
Right.
yes.
So I thought of a luminary, right? Like a person who is
Yeah.
the light. And but I kept it very simple in regards to, like, how do we achieve that? Well, we achieve that by talking, by people listening, and by sort of taking part. And then sort of, how does it morph? It morphs from starting small, listening, and becoming one yourself. And then we just see sort of that circle of, like, everybody who does that, we all become sort of illuminaries. So it was to keep it simple enough, but to really get the core message that you wanted. With, there are going to be some guides or
Yeah.
some people with advice. So but it does, it's, I will say, it sort of spews. I get creative and I get in
Mm,
my zone. So once I'm in
yes.
that zone and the words come out, and it works, there's times that I have to tweak it. There's times that it's like I write it out and go, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think this one was sort of in that range of just, I wrote it, I read it, and I was like, yeah, that feels right with what you said, right?
Yes. I
Mhm.
think we only changed one or two words and that was
Mhm.
it. So,
Mhm.
so when it is being developed in you, is it words first or is the music coming along with the words or is the music afterwards?
I tend to be more of a lyricist first,
Mm-hmm.
but I could work with someone who's already got their music done and write
Mm-hmm.
lyrics to it.
Mm.
But if I'm working by myself, typically I usually do lyrics, but there's times that I'll sit at a piano and just create music. So then I'll just record it so that, because a lot of times I'm like, oh, that was so beautiful. Can I do that again? No.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean.
I was like in the zone. I'm like, oh no. So, but I tend to, I have paper readily available, like my
Mm,
phone, for writing more readily than a piano or a ukulele in my hands. So I tend to do lyrics first.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, is it like sit with the lyrics for a little while, or then, or is it tinker around kind of looking for that music that goes with it? I mean, how does that process go about?
There's different ways of going about it. I mean, with the app, I could definitely just put my lyrics in and explain that I want a pop rock song or a jazz
Mm,
blues song or something, and it'll do the melody, it'll do the music and everything. But what I've started doing now is, if I figure out a melody to my lyrics, I can actually sing it into the application,
mm-hmm,
and then it'll create music around that.
mm-hmm.
And if you're not perfect singer or anything, or you kind of, I love it, because if I screwed up and I made a gap, or the timing's wrong, it still sort of perfects it, knows what I was trying to sing. So I've been starting to do them that way. So I will look at my lyrics, and there's a bit of a science to it.
Yes.
When you look at the lyrics, if because you had requested an upbeat song, I think you said sort of Katy Perry like, or I think you said just upbeat. You wanted something
Mm,
upbeat and lively, and
yeah.
so I'm not going to sing it sad. I'm not, or
Mm-hmm.
sad, right?
Right.
So I have to think what sounds more up and lively, and sort of what the mood of the song is, and then I can sort of, I play around with sort of different harmony or different melodies and things like that. There's times that I'll pick up the ukulele and I'll start playing chords on the ukulele and I'll make up a whole melody. If I'm doing it sort of start to finish myself, that's the process. Is I'll grab an instrument, figure out what some chord changes can be for it, and then see if a melody pops up in my head. And then there's just a lot of tweaking at that point, because you play
Mm,
something and go, oh, that sounds good. Oh, but the verses don't sound good with that. Okay, so
yeah.
change the melody. That's sort of the whole process for um, songwriting, and just kind of working my way through it.
Hmm.
With the app, as I have a bit more freedom in regards to it'll add drums and things like that after with my melody, and then I can say, oh, I don't like the drums. I
Yeah.
want I want hand drums, or so then I can start editing it. It's really a lovely little band in a box, so that I get to control.
Yeah, I know it kind of sounds very kind of chat GBT in the sense the way I use because of
Cool.
my dyslexia. I'll write out something and invariably it will be in the wrong order. And I
Oh,
give it to chat to kind of and it knows me now, right? So it knows what I want to say. And all it does is it rearranges it in a better flow
mm,
with, the right commas and full stops and everything else. But it's all my content. But all it is being kind of almost rhythmically, because that's kind of the way I speak, presented better. And that's what the beauty of all of these wonderful apps and AIs and, all of these skills there today is they allow us to, um, and you have the purists to say no, it must be done, and at the absolutely I agree that it's wonderful if you have the full studio and orchestra and everything else that you can do, but not everybody can afford that, and it's absolutely wonderful if you can get that. But for everyday people who are looking to have a song or a tinkle, and in my way, a
mhm.
new introduction and exit for the shows, because the last one I just got some generic music and it really sounds like I'm going to a funeral. So my first one that I had was, yeah, you got to get up every morning with a smile on your face. And then we weren't allowed to use it anymore, even though it was just a snippet of it. And
Mm,
then I had a wonderful um, a musician on called Danielle, and she talked about new directions, and she gave me her song where I could take a snippet from that, and that was great. But I like to change it up every now and again, and we talked about it, and it was like I needed something that was more lively, as especially as like I'm looking at 2026 as being more positive. I needed to have something that was upbeat and invitational to go with it.
yeah.
So whether people have got a podcast or whether they want to have a song that represents who they are or what their business is. I mean, kind of pretty cool if somebody went into their site and there is a song that kind of sums them up and it
Mhm.
becomes catchy and it kind of becomes fun. And I think, it's not just for, needing a song because you're a musician. It's having a song that can summarize what you do. I think it's just another way of marketing.
Yeah, yeah, a business jingle.
It's yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, but without sounding jinglish, when you look at that in the past, it kind of the elevator music. In this way, it's more kind of representation,
Yes.
which I think is more like what people are having, and a lot of people will put out videos with pictures and things like that. And it's nice to have music in the background that is saying the words of, or even having music in the background with occasional song coming in where they're speaking. There's so many different ways they can do that.
Right.
But introducing music into what they do, I think is another avenue that's just going to expand their arena more.
It's branding. So, if you
Mm.
think you have a business logo, you have business colors,
Yeah.
you have, that kind of thing. There's a style that represents you. So why can't you include a song that
Hmm.
represents your business? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I know of a friend of mine who has a painting business, and they do a jingle
Hmm.
on radio. And so, but at least it's their song, right?
Yeah.
That type of thing. So, and I mean, in little jingles or little business music can be used for different things. Like they could have different ones produced or created,
Yeah.
because again, it's a brand. So if their brand is super fun and playful, and it's I don't know, like a kid's daycare,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have to be the same song every time, but it needs to be
Right.
playful, fun, inviting, and that
Yes.
kind of thing. And so I think people can use it for branding, where people are doing a lot of videos now, like
Mm.
watching a lot of videos on social media.
Mm.
So there is an opportunity to have your own branded music with
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the appeal for the way that I do the music is that I can create something pretty quickly, fully produced for someone
Mhm.
for their business, for a video series, for their brand, for
Mhm.
anything that they want to do. And then basically they have the full rights to use it. And
Yes, exactly.
yeah, yeah.
But you've got so many people that put on big summits or big webinars. I mean, to actually have a song created for the summit and the webinar, it's
Mhm.
the introduction, but it's playing in the background, while people are looking at who the guests are going to be and everything else, right? It's setting our lives to music, because I think, quite honestly, music is yeah, so utterly believe in the frequency of music and how it can uplift us,
Mhm.
raise us up, align us, calm us down, communicate with each other. Music is it. But using music in your business is a way of extending your voice in a way that normally you can't do. And like,
Right.
you've got a huge summit coming up, and a lot of people will use kind of rah rah type music, and it can be a bit jarring. And
Mm.
it's like, well, why not like a song you've just done for me?
Mhm.
Get Celeste to create a song around what the summit's going to be about. And then you
Right.
can put the video out with the song, kind of showing the speakers and what they're going to be talking about. There's your marketing piece, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, keep your ears and eyes open for Win Women of Influence Awards in Nanaimo, because I've written two songs for them.
Mm,
One song, aptly named Women of Influence.
hmm
They have not released that song. They are going to, as far as I know, they're going to start releasing it during their advertising of the awards. And it'll be I think it'll be played that night, but I know they're going to use it for their advertising. And then there is I Own My Greatness was the other one I wrote, and that one's actually going to be played when women go up to receive their
mm,
nominations. And so I'm excited because it's going to be
yeah.
televised by Rogers.
Right.
And
Wonderful.
so again, there's a summit.
Yes.
Now that song, Women of Influence, I literally wrote that in probably 5 minutes. It was
Mm,
extremely inspired. I had been to the awards now twice. And I don't know if I just knew, but
mm,
we had talked about I Own My Greatness. So I had given her that one. She goes, "Oh, I love it." I said, "Great. Do you want one for the event, like the name?" She was like,
mm.
"Sure." And literally, I just went and I wrote it, and it came right out, and it was a wonderful song. So, yeah, you're right. Having it at the summit, just
Yes.
representing the summit or the awards, or yeah.
I'm going to go further. People who have book launches. A
Mm.
lot of people that are doing a book launch, they're putting a whole video out there, putting a whole thing out there,
Mm.
where you creating a song around the book, with the mystery, the help you book, whatever the book is, again, and then the book being out there when it's being launched, the author, all of that.
Ooh, I love that.
It's just completely another extension, because
Mm.
we're drawn to music. We're more likely to stop and listen to the music than we are than somebody just talking.
Yes.
Right. So I think that's what's really important, is that we realize that music is another way of getting our message across. It's also be very, very representational of where you are, to what you're trying to do in that moment.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like if it was a fictional story,
Hmm
there's movies that get made from books, right? And so they have
Yes.
a soundtrack. So I
Yes.
love that idea. I did do a soundtrack for an indie movie. And so it's the same idea. What is the scene wanting to portray? What's the
Mm-hmm.
feeling? Do we want people to cry? Do we want people to be
Mm-hmm.
scared? And so with a story, there's the whole vibe of what happened.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I would love to write with a writer. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that's a
And
great.
then taking, the kind of the summary from the writing and putting it in as a song,
Mhm.
right? I mean, wouldn't you, once you've heard that, kind of, I want to know what this book is about, right? So, you've got summits, you've got webinars, you've got launching a business, you've got books, you've got authors, people putting out a new program,
Mhm.
like that. I've got a whole new series I'm going to be doing this year. Well, why not put it to music?
Mm.
You want people to be enthusiastic about what you're doing, what you're presenting, this new course that
Yeah.
you've put so much time and effort into it. Put it to music.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be kind of the 2 or 3 minute. It might only be a 30, 40-second type thing that can be repeated, or it might be a full length.
Yeah.
But you said you're doing it for them, they own it. So they can play it at any time. But I think that's the thing, is just look at this as an extension of your brand, as a marketing tool. But as in a lot of ways, rather like what I say, a podcast represents who you are because you're sharing your why. Having words of whatever you're doing in music is another representation. It's the invitation through inspiration.
Mm, yeah. And like you said, it can lift people up,
Mm-hmm.
and that type of thing. Or if you're wanting someone to feel, it's music is very emotional. And so I have over 1,800 CDs because I love music, and
Mm-hmm.
I have different genres, different styles because I listen in moods.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
right. And
Mm,
so being able to emote that or evoke that in a song, I think is really important. And that's why, really understanding the approach, or if it's a business, right? What is the feel? What do you want people to feel when they go, or when they use your services, or when they buy your products, or that type of thing? I think that's one of my strengths, is to really understand who's buying this, or who are you
yeah.
serving. And that probably lends to my marketing background. I did run my
Mm,
own business for about 5 years. So I think just with the whole well-rounded is that, yes, I'm a musician, a writer, a singer,
mm-hmm.
so melody, like you said, getting things rhythmic and making sure that the
Yeah.
words flow and that it works well. My marketing background, who are you targeting? What are you wanting to get out there? What's the message? And then just kind of wrapping it around so that we know this is the feel, this is the people that you're targeting, and this is the message, all in one with a song. So
I'm going to go further. You have the word at the present moment is eluding me, but the thing of life when somebody's passed,
yes.
right? So how about having a song that's just been completely done, that represents their life, that's busy playing as people come,
Yeah.
that speaks to who they are, right? And then that opens up where people can then share their experience with that person, but a celebration of life. There it is, the celebration of life.
Yeah.
And how wonderful to have somebody, put a song to it. And anytime anybody hears it, everybody can get it. You can send them the MP3, whatever.
Yeah.
And that way is always a remembrance of that person capturing their lives in that song. You
Yeah.
could do it for a funeral as well. That's gently playing in the background with some beautiful words while people are sitting and ready. And it's soothing, it's calming. And for the people that are going to get up and do a eulogy, the words are already out there and it becomes inspiring for them. So there
Mhm.
is really kind of no limit to anything, where music can make a difference. You can
Mhm.
be there with the words and the music that can set the mood.
Right. Well, I'll speak from experience. So 2025 was a bit brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I both of my pets died, both of my dogs. They were 16 years old, so it wasn't,
It doesn't matter. It's a loss. It's a
I
loss.
know,
Yeah.
and three family members.
Oh, wow.
And so I ended actually writing a song for each dog,
Mm-hmm.
and writing a song for two of the family members that passed away. And one of them, so when you were saying about, calm music in the
Yeah.
background, the person who passed away was my brother-in-law. He loved rock music.
Mm,
He was out there, he was bold. So I did a rock song. I didn't know how it was going to be received. And again, I was just doing it for myself, right? So
right.
I did a rock song, and one of his older aunts, she went, oh, I loved that. That represented him so well. She goes, can I get a copy? And I was
Mm-hmm.
really surprised, but I really think that when the song, so I know the environment of being at a
Yes.
funeral. I think if the song really truly represents the one that they've
Yeah.
lost, um, it sits better than this nice calm thing and
Yeah.
people sad. And so I thought that was really interesting, because now every time I listen to it, I go, Mike, like
Yeah.
and I have
Exactly.
one for my other brother-in-law, and same thing when I listen to it. Because I can be forgetful and life gets busy, and
Yes. Yes.
but the song comes on and I actually get a warm heart and I
Mm,
remember them. So I actually, from personal experience, it's like keeping something of theirs
alive.
alive, right? And
Yeah.
every time you hear it, you get to remember them.
Yeah.
So I honestly find such joy and benefit from that,
Mm-hmm.
that I would like to do that for other people. So it could be a pet, it could be a family
Yes.
member, it could be someone you just love. They're still alive, right? That they
But
just want something to play and represent them.
weddings, the
Yes,
song that's
right?
purely designed for them.
To dance
It's
to.
their song. They're
Oh,
not, it's not, oh, we love this song. This is how we met. No, this is their song. It
see that?
represents their union forever.
Yeah.
On the other scale of the thing, a divorce song.
She's on her own. He's
Right,
on his
freedom.
own. Right? Anything to commemorate a moment that you want to remember, I can
Yes.
write about. And honestly, I can
Big
write.
milestone birthdays.
Yeah.
Those decade birthdays. you
Yeah.
know, a summary of their life or where they want to go. You know, I think it's something that they play at the party, but it becomes something personal for them. And every time they're having a bit of a hard day or I'm feeling older, play the music, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, that's the thing, it keeps things alive and it brings you back to that space, you know, when you listen to it.
Yeah.
And it becomes, you know, kind of a, um, like a book is something that kind of captures your time and space, but you know, the music does too. And whenever you listen to a song that you really love, you know, it takes you back.
It
Yeah,
does.
and you know, I'm 71, so of course the music for me was the 70s, right? And
Mm,
so I listened to certain 70s, oh, I know where I was and who I was. And we had a mobile discotheque. So we
right.
played a lot of, you know, great parties, and certain songs will remind me of great parties and or who I'm with and what I'm doing. And that's what's so beautiful about the music. When you can capture memories in a song, right, and bring it back to someone, it's kind of, can you imagine people with dementia?
Mm,
Right, or Alzheimer's, you know, the somebody sharing their life, you know, of their experience with them, and then having a song, you know, what was their song that they music they really love, so you know what kind of music they liked, and then playing some music and a song that's for them, reminding them, because we know that people with Alzheimer's or dementia, that music is something that really, really gets through to them. So
yes.
imagine having a song created for their loved one that plays over and over again, that reminds them of who's in their life.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful. That makes me want to cry. You're right. Like I think there's ways that we can use music that hasn't been used before.
Hmm.
And because of my perspective and my openness to it, I yeah, writing stuff like that so that they can, and with dementia and stuff, they don't remember stuff. So you know what? It's a song that can be played over and over again. A
Over and over
family
and
member
over.
doesn't have to repeat,
Nope.
because my
Nope.
dad passed away with dementia. So you repeat things. And so that if
Yes.
they have this comfort song,
Uh-huh.
sometimes they'll either have a doll or a stuffy or something like that. I love that aspect that, you know, it can be on repeat if they don't remember, right? But I love that idea. My goal is I love connecting with people.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, with my laser business, I get to connect with them one on one when I'm serving
Right.
them. But same thing with the music. I can
Hmm.
connect with you, make you laugh. I can connect with you, make you cry. I can connect with you because I'm letting you reminisce.
Hmm.
Right. So there's all those aspects that I get to play with. And I love that your brain is just like, oh, and here and here and here. Because now I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be fabulous. Because
Yes.
honestly, anybody who wants a song of any kind, really, like for any occasion, I would love the challenge, because I think we could come up with something really great, and they get to go away with something for, you know, to reflect on and to use or to
Okay, well, okay, the brain is not stopping here. So
ah,
teenagers
yes.
that are going through puberty, and they always go through this, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I don't fit in. You know, how about a song that speaks to the essence of who they are? Right, personal one, you know, Sweet 16, they parents can give to them, that is their song that summarizes their life, and where, you know, spreading their wings in their future, and don't let anybody else close the door on you, and you know, an inspirational song that's theirs.
And what they're good at, like all the
Yes,
traits.
and who they are as a person. You're
Yes,
celebrating who they are as a person, not what somebody else or society wants them to be,
that's right.
who they are in their own essence.
Yes, I just saw a video yesterday of I don't want to say impersonator. It's not that the video. Uh,
Parody.
I know, but like a person, an influencer.
Right, right, you're right.
That's the word.
Okay.
And she had mentioned that she was chunkier when she was smaller, and her teacher, when she was
Mhm.
7, because she wanted to be a cheerleader, came up to her and said, "You probably don't want to do that. Like you probably won't achieve that." And she said, "It's taken me years to realize that I was more than my body. I had all
Yes.
these skills and all these things, and that's what that's making me think of, is that
Yeah.
having that child, even if I had a formatted song."
Mm.
I know that we talk about them as a person and then what they're really good at, and you've got this,
Yes.
you know, and it can
Yes.
be altered, where I just alter the those lyrics so that that child knows that's their talents, that's their skill. We don't mention anything about beauty. We don't mention about
No,
physicality. It's
no.
not about that. It's about who they are, and
The
what,
inner beauty,
yeah,
right? Yes, addressing that. But you know, you have an awful lot of people, and again, I know this firsthand because you know, depression has been a companion of mine all of my life through various illnesses I've had. It's kind of one of those things that's attached to it. And music's always been my savior. Whether it's just the music or whether it's lyrics in the music, it all depends what I need to hear at the time. But you know, for people that are that feeling just down or sad or blah, or you can feel the rabbit hole opening up and you want to close it before it gets any further. We go to particular music that is going to do something for us. But how about if there was a song that was just for us? It speaks to us. That is our song. It becomes our mantra song that
Mhm.
is for us, that every time we listen to it, no matter what rabbit hole is opening up or what fear is opening up or anxiety is opening up, this song comes and shows you how powerful you are, how strong and courageous and abilities and divine you are, that can get you through it and close that goddamn hole right up.
I love it. I actually just wrote a song 2 nights ago called Kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
He is strong, strong like kryptonite.
Right.
So yeah, we do need our rah rah songs and that.
Yes. Yes.
I also think though sometimes people need a song that says, "I understand where you are,
Mm-hmm.
and I will sit with you." Because I have some songs, a lot of my songs that I've written for myself are cathartic. So I do have one about depression. I have one about being tired all the time.
Yeah. I
You
need
know,
that
'cause
one.
it's really nice to listen to and go, she gets me. This song gets me. I'm okay. Someone else has felt like this. So with the depression, sometimes I've had it as well. You feel alone. You think, oh, I'm,
Yes.
I'm not stepping up. I'm not keeping up with the Joneses. And sometimes you just hear a song that says, yeah, I'm depressed and this is really tough, and go, yeah, it is.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like I feel that. So I mood think as or listen, right?
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
you need those playlists to just kind of go, yes, I know where you are. I feel where you are. Okay, let's listen to the next one. Okay, we're going to get a little bit up, a little bit up. Okay, here's
Mm.
your mantra. Like having,
Yes. The mantra, but also a rage song. Ah!
yeah.
I'm listening to a wonderful artist that I interviewed, John Amato, and he's the ballad drummer.
Mm,
And it took him something like 26 years to get this album to go together with some wonderful artists. And it's all about, bluesy jazz, ballad type thing. And I just love it. I had playing it in my car. And I'm a kind of a person that will repeat something over and over and over and over for a while. And
mhm,
then it's okay. I can release it now, and choose something else.
yeah.
But that's the thing about certain music. You know what it does for whatever mood you're in, and you know that you're going to listen to it for as long as you need to listen to it. And like, okay, I'm okay now. I can choose this different music. And
Yeah.
that's the thing about music. And there are some songs that have touched all of us, no matter who we are in the
Mhm,
world, and they're magnificent songs and they represent all of us. That's the reason why they touched all of us. But we want a song that speaks personally about us, from us, to us, that
mhm,
we can say is like, no, that this is my song. This
mhm.
is my song.
Well, and I think there's a luxury too, to a point
Mm.
that if someone does what you did, where you listen to it and listen to it obsessively until you're like, okay, I'm done. Like sometimes I get sick of something, I'll come
Yes.
back to it, but you're like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm enough. But then they have the luxury; they can come back to me and go, okay, you know what? I'm here in my life now. I want a song about
Hmm.
this.
Next chapter, please. The
Yeah,
next chapter.
and they'll end up
Yeah.
having a soundtrack of all their songs that are for that.
Yes. Yes, exactly. It is kind of never ending because there's so many possibilities. But
Mhm.
the ultimate thing is let music and let the words and the music speak to where you're at. Yeah, I have been wanting for a while to change the intro and the exit of my thing. And it's like, should I go back to the old one? Should I do this? Should I do that? And I thought, no, just wait. And then we started talking, and it's like, okay, because I don't believe anything happens for no reason. I think everything is sort of serendipitous, and uh, and it's like here you have brought a song that kind of speaks to exactly what it is we do. And
Mhm.
it is upbeat and it's fun and it's invitational, which people you will listen to on the way the end of this song, at the end of the show. But that's what it needs to be. We want people that kind of represent where we're at, who we're at, the moment. And because, yes, you play it in the moment, representing the moment, but then you revisit that moment over and over again. And so it always becomes something that reminds you of moments. And so whatever the song is for whoever the song, it takes you back to good feelings, to good reminders. And you know what? We also need a song that gives us permission to have a damn good cry. This is my bucket croissant. I just want to cry in it. And it's like, you cry away and I feel better now. All right. We need that too.
To make a CD that's for like all the days of like the life sort of, you have depression, you have anger, you have sadness.
Yes. 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 Did
Emotion.
you, what was that wonderful movie? I'm terrible on names today. Inside Out.
Oh,
It's an animated movie made of a little girl going through various emotions inside out. And then they did Inside Out 2, where they actually brought in anger and depression,
oh
right?
wow.
And so this was actually initially produced by a couple of fathers witnessing their own children.
Mm,
Right. And they're so busy trying to keep her in joy, they're kind of denying all the other emotions. And
mhm.
I always say, we need to tap into our emotions. They represent where we're at. We need to spend those emotions. But what we don't need is become emotional over our emotions. And
Right.
so having something that represents our emotion right now, like I can scream to this, I can dance to this, I can sing hallelujah to this, something that I need this right now, play, and I've spent that emotion.
Yeah.
Now I can move on. And you need that assistance because we can't always get there on our own. We don't know when to pull the plug on it. We get
Mhm.
caught up with it. So having a song that I'm giving you 3 minutes or 2 minutes to have this emotion, and then it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be really good actually. You got my wheels turning because it's kind of one that's either like it's called healing or emotional or something so that it's, and it might be the track might be like depression, sadness,
Yes,
joy, anger.
yes. Yes, I mean, and the permission to go through those. I'm feeling this today, so I need this. I'm feeling this today, I need that. And it is, it's saying that yes, your emotions are absolutely valid. They're justified for where you're at,
Yes.
but they're to be acknowledged, they're to be spent, and they're to be moved on from.
Yes.
And we as a society get so stuck in emotions and they start paralyzing us and
Mhm.
dictating to us and taking us down roads that we don't need to go on. And
Right.
so, having something that allows it to be spent. And,
Yes.
rage needs to be in there because, there's a lot of outrageous things out there that we need to have a good, just goddamn scream at sometimes. Um, and having something too that is your comfort song, that these are your arms wrapped around you song. I've got you. You're not alone. Here, feel my arms,
Right.
and that is like, I'm feeling sad and I just need that comfort song. So I think we all need it. That's the reason why we're drawn to music. But having something that's personally yours,
Yeah.
designed for you, right? It doesn't matter for everybody. No, this is mine. So every time I hear it, I know it's mine. It represents me,
Right.
right? That I think is something that will really make a difference.
I agree. Like this is something sort of newish that we're talking about for me. And I'm thinking on the spectrum of like, when you do therapy and they say talk to your younger self.
Yes,
If you
yes,
had a song that says you're okay, you're safe, like all the fears that you have, this song is saying you're okay, you're safe, it's all right. I actually just saw an example yesterday of an artist, and I can't remember names right now, but she saw a therapist, and the therapist said, talk to your anxiety like it's someone
mhm.
else.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
tell them like you're not like you're I see you, I acknowledge
Hmm.
you. So what she did, she actually made a song, and I played it twice because I was like, wow, I really resonate with that. And she
Mm.
basically says, I know you're there, like I acknowledge you. She goes, I feel you in my chest. And she goes, it's okay for you to go. Like, so it's nice
Yeah.
to have songs like that too, that even if I'm walking someone through that they're having a panic attack or they're having anxiety, that this song they can listen to over and over again, and it's almost like that self-talk that they need to hear, but put to
Yes.
music. So there can be some healing stuff instead of just instrumental and listen to this and
Yes.
meditate. Like, you're really making my wheels turn in regards to like, it could actually be therapeutic for people to have the song that speaks to their fears and it says, it's okay, you're safe, everything's okay. Like, yeah, I'm
I'm throwing another one at you here. I have
yeah.
a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and the 2-year-old has Down syndrome. It's my grandchildren.
Oh,
New baby. He's still, just a little crybaby right now, but which he's allowed to be at 3 months.
yeah.
But I know that the 4-year-old can get frustrated and angry and he doesn't know what to do with it. And like with the one with the Down syndrome, music is his life. I bought him a bongo for Christmas and he loves playing it. And anytime there's music, even if it's something that just sounds rhythmic, he stops and starts dancing.
Oh,
You know,
cute.
now imagine if you had a song that the parents could quickly go to on an app. You're feeling mad, playing the song. I'm feeling mad, stamp my feet, let it out, and then I'm feeling glad, and have a song that represents the mood that helps them get through that mood.
Yeah, that's really good. I wonder if I'd have to, like, that would be probably trial and error, which I'd be totally open with, but even just, or connecting with the therapist and
Yes.
what does a child who has Down syndrome who's going
Yeah.
through a moment, what do they need to process? Because then I could put that to words, put it to the right music and have that. That's
What calms them down, what lifts them up, what takes away the fear.
what
And then,
distracts
and
them
then,
enough. Yeah.
a 4-year-old who's just a kid navigating through life, when they
Mm,
get mad or somebody takes away their toy, what song can help them that even if the mom and dad aren't there to play it for them, they've got it in their head. They can
yes.
start singing it themselves, but it's a song that represents those, having the emotions for adults, but having a song that's fun and upbeat or calming or whatever, but allows their emotion to be spent and supports the emotion to a climax to go.
Ah,
Right. For a child, I think would be really, really essential and an easy app for a parent
right.
to play on that.
That would be really good. And I mean, because it's, because I know there's songs for kids to learn things,
Yes.
learn their alphabet and that kind of thing. So I don't really see a big stretch in regards to making
No.
it more therapeutic. But I mean, my goal here is as these songs get produced, there's a difference. If it gets produced and it's for someone else,
Yes.
then I can put it up on iTunes and
Hmm.
Spotify and stuff like that. So they literally, if they've got, Alexa or Google or
Mm.
things like that, they can play it right away. And they just have to stream.
Yes.
They would own it, so I would give them obviously the download, but they, things like that. The songs that I'm writing for another potential artist to sing, or potentially for movies or TV, then I wouldn't necessarily upload them because they're
No,
so.
no, they become their property. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I still have the rights. They're mine, but they'd be
Right.
just the song in regards to using
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I mean, I think once someone has the songs,
Hmm.
we've done that, then I can definitely upload it so that they have access to it all the time. And the kid could say, Alexa, play
Yes.
Grumpy Dumpy song, and it would play
Yes.
it,
Well,
right?
it's Alexa in my house and Google in their house. And
Right.
so they, I say like these kids will never know what it's like to switch on a light or do anything else because everything is Google.
Yeah.
And Google listens to him and his dad, but never listens to mom and I. So, but this is the way of the future for the kids. They are going to be talking to whatever to do things and then having that I'm getting mad, Google play that song. And then it
Mhm.
becomes something that supports them,
It's a
right?
tool.
It's a tool. How about one for the boss that's been you're an asshole.
Very true.
And like a reminder, even something that's being played in the background and he hears the music, uh-oh, my behavior is showing.
Oh, I thought it was just for consoling the employee. They put their headset and just go.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. So there's so many avenues, and that's the thing. And because you are a musician, you know how to play instruments, you know how to sing, you know how to write lyrics, but most importantly, you know how to download. And that's what people don't understand is like an artist, it downloads the material. It's kind of given to the ether, and the ether just goes and you know what to do with it. I call that the knowingness. The knowingness is allowing the soul wisdom to guide the heart in truth and the spirit into action for the mind to know what it needs to know in clarity when it needs to know it. And so you kind of give this is the synopsis, and then it comes through you, and you know how to recognize it and what to do with it. And not everybody has that gift, or everybody has a gift, but in a different form of instrument. Some people it may be writing or speaking, nurturing, whatever the case is. We've all got it. So you've been given this gift in the music. And for a lot of people, it thinks, well, they have to be musicians. They have to go out there and create records. They have to go and, be on the big thing. No, you can have just as much impact with what you're doing, probably, if not more, than just kind of following that musical path to be a star, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, just speaking about this too, and just knowing that I can impact and provide something for people is way more fulfilling than being on tour and being on a stage and getting the high
Yes,
feeling. Also, my age, I don't want to be. I
exactly.
don't want to be touring. I'm almost 50, so
Yeah.
for me, and I mean, my music had ebbs and flows where
Mm,
I didn't do any music for over 8 years. But they come back, and then you'll get inspired. And I
yeah.
really love this path that I'm going on with the music now. And it's something that I can do fairly efficiently, quickly, and come out with something that it's like done, and it's produced, and it sounds beautiful.
Mm.
And so, but I'm very inspired with the path that you're suggesting, because I love getting to know people
Yes.
as well. And so, and I don't ask surfacey stuff. And so I tend to, when I network, I get to know people way deeper than other people. And they go, "How did you know that?" I said, "I asked." And
Yes.
so when I have somebody in front of me and I was like, "What song do you want?" I do take the time to
Yeah.
really get to know, so that it really does feel like, wow, she was inside my head. I asked everything there,
Yeah.
and I put it in songs. So, it's a really awesome best of both worlds for me. I'm going to get to meet strangers, know
Mm.
their situation or the person that they loved, or their business,
Hmm.
that kind of thing, and then go, "Okay, well, I'm going to create something for you." Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited.
Yeah, no, no, I can see the excitement for it. And like we know when I had Danier's song, it really kind of is a redirection, and I often look at self-discovery as a redirection into where you're meant to be, who you're meant to be. And it was served me for quite a long time. And this last music doesn't, I just really didn't get it. And yes, it's always been my voiceover, welcome to self-discovery wisdom. And this time we haven't gone that way because you've put in the song, the introduction, you've put in what it's about. So it's staying as that. People get my voice in the interviews. They don't need it on the other ends or anything. And that's the thing, is having something that represents you so well that you don't have to be the forefront of it, if you know what I mean.
I do, yeah. It speaks for you,
Mm,
that's really powerful, and a compliment to me that I actually got it right enough that you don't have to add a tidbit and go, "Well, it's sort of what we do,"
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're like, no, it basically does the job. So that's a great testimonial to what I've provided for you. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and yes, we've met a few times. Yes, I've interviewed you. Yes, we've hung out. But that's the thing, is you're an absorber,
Mm,
right? You know how to absorb what people are trying to say between the lines, right? And you do that in your work with the laser. It's not just surface, although you are paying attention to surface. What you're trying to do is bring out in them their inner confident beauty by taking care of any flaws that they find hard to live with on the outside, right? But it's showing them how beautiful they are on the inside. You're just making them feel more comfortable on the outside. Well, with your music, it says, "I see you, I hear you, and I represent you."
mm. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, it's a good observation. I think you're right. Is depending on the purpose of the music, but I'm going to take the time to understand what the purpose is, and if
Hmm.
it's to represent you, if it's to remind you of someone, is it to evoke emotion, to help you process emotion. I know I was the type of person in the past. Before I went to therapy, I
Hmm.
couldn't cry, but I knew I needed
Mm.
to cry. So I was
Yeah.
short tempered, I was bitchy, I was irritable, and I'm like, and I kind of knew inside, I'm like, I need to cry, and I couldn't. So I would always go to movies. Like I would
Yes,
go to the
yes.
movie, and I'm like, okay, and it was like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
whole
yeah,
downpour. So it's nice to have a tool.
yeah.
I knew I had songs, and I mean, I've had people tell me in person when I performed, because I love ballads and melodies.
Hmm. Yes, yeah.
I People are crying in the audience.
Hmm.
So I know that feeling of like when you just have something that touches you so deep that
Mm.
just allows you to cry, that maybe there are those songs when it's really personal, but it is something that allows that person to heal
Yeah.
and process. I am so excited to be on that journey for them, right? So, and if I can help with the tool of music and that kind of thing, yeah, it's really, again, wheels are turning. My brain, I'm like, stay focused in the podcast.
But that's what it's about. What are the possibilities?
Those are my
You're
nuggets.
doing with music what I'm doing with podcasts.
Oh, fair enough.
Right?
Yeah.
It's you're revealing.
Yeah.
The inner voice, the essence of the person. You're doing it through music with what they want to say, who they are. I'm doing it through podcasting, right? Revealing them right here. And that's the whole thing, is giving people a space and a place where they can stand up in their own presence, in their own essence, and say, this is me. And I am proud of who I am, and I don't need to be what society dictates to me. As Popeye says, I am what I am. And right. And I mean, it took me a huge amount of years to get comfortable with that, because I was brought up with the expectation of what you should be. Right. And I never, ever pleased anyone, because I was so busy trying to please them that I lost myself. And what they liked about me was my essence. I lost my essence from trying to please them. And then, no win. So it took a long time for me to give myself permission to just be Sarah. And I'm wacky Sarah, right? And that's who I am, right? And that's okay, because we're all meant to be who we're meant to be, and that's it. We don't need to be anything else. And I think that having music to be our explanation, our reveal, but also our support,
Mm.
um, our voice, when very often we may not be able to articulate in the way that we'd like to, but the song does. And what the song does that precedes you, it opens the door to what you're really trying to say. And the song has laid the ground. And so now the conversation can really flow.
Mhm.
It's been your intro.
Yeah. You go to a networking meeting or something, or you go to meet people and you're like, hi, you introduce yourself and they're like, well, so tell me about yourself. Here, listen to this.
Yes, exactly.
It just explains everything. So,
Right, in an email, sending it, tell me all about you. Boing, there you go. That's me. Wow, what a novel way of introducing yourself, right?
yeah. Or even just for networking, I just make little 30-second snippets and I just play it.
Precisely. Why not? And of course,
Really fun.
never mind, me as a podcaster, there are millions of people with podcasts out there that
Mhm.
having that right intro, that one that speaks to what they're doing, is, it becomes their signature that people will recognize. They'll get to know the music. Oh, that is Sarah's podcast. That's somebody else's podcast, because that music represents. And you don't want music that, oh, it's so sound upbeat. Hey, hang on, that music isn't congruent
Oh,
with
yes.
what they're talking about. And that's the thing, is I really wanted something that was congruent to what we're about.
Right.
And that's what you've produced. So it's there.
Win-win.
Win-win, exactly. So you're going to be working hard, girl, because there's a lot here of possibilities. And I think anybody listening, whether you have a business or a summit or a webinar or a podcast, or you want a song for something, it's like we've touched on so many possibilities here today,
Right.
right? It's like maybe you just want a song that is your song, just for the sake of having your song,
Mhm.
right? Which are quite, okay to do. It's okay that you have a song that represents you. And you know how it is, speak to the hand? Well, anytime it says play the music. So, wherever you're at, there's a possibility, even there's something we haven't thought of today, right? And you want a piece of music for something, reach out to Celeste. Not only can she do it fast and efficiently, but she will do it in a way that really truly represents. And of course, if you want her to sing it, then that's a different level,
Mhm.
right? She can choose a voice for it. But if you really want her to sing it and perform it, now we're looking at studio. And so we're looking at a different level. But that's okay. Whatever you are at, wherever you're at, whether it's just a jingle or whether it's a full song or whether it's a full statement, there's something there. And if you are a therapist, in the gym, particular music that's motivating in the gym, right? Speaking to it, for people who are counselors and coaches of various means, having particular music that is your tool that can help. Um, all of these possibilities are there. So just reach out to Celeste and have a chat with her. Where is the best place for them to reach out for you concerning the music?
So I am on Facebook. So Facebook, and it's /Celeste the Voice. So Celeste the Voice. And that's probably the best way. I do have a website, but it's not live anymore. So I think Facebook would be probably the quickest way, and or through this podcast, I guess, or whatever, or some sort of link. I do have email. It is celestethevoice@gmail.com. So
Excellent. So if you're looking at this and it sounds like a great idea. I just want to inquire. I like the idea of it. I don't know if it fits. I don't know if there's a place for it. That's okay. Just have a chat, set up a chat, and you'll know from there. And the beauty of it is where you laser, you really need to have physical people in front of you. We haven't got to virtual laser therapy yet. Give it time. But this can be done anywhere in the world, as long as obviously English, because English speaking, but there really aren't any boundaries here. And it is something that we do need right now. I actually think we need a song for 2026 because like a lot of people, we're looking at this as a year of cleaning up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a year of taking away the garbage, making sure everything is absolutely clean and ready for 2027, which in numerology is the first year, the new year of beginnings. So this is a year of completions. And what we've got to do is complete the old paradigm, move it out, and have everybody ready to kind of roll up their sleeves and willing to do what they need to do to make sure everything is clean and ready for the new beginnings. And I think we need a mantra song for that.
Challenge received. No.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I started a genre last year for, the sisterhood of common sense love and all the men that love and support them. But it is about women rolling up their sleeves and going, oh, okay, this mess has to stop right now. This behavior, this mess, this and that. It's time for cleanup. It's time for correction. It's time for putting things in order so we can move forward. And I think that's the kind of what we need right now. We need to motivate people because they want to. They want to step away from 25. They want to step into 26 with enthusiasm and let's do it. They need the music to go with it.
Okay. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
So yes, that will be fun. But the music is just something that has a language all of its own. It also transcends language. And the thing about words to music, it reaches our heart, soul, and spirit in a way that sometimes just ordinary words don't. And the more that we truly listen and feel it and have it delivered through the right music, the more we actually penetrate what the words are trying to say. So most certainly. Yeah. So reach out and don't forget to go back and listen to her other show. Although it is on the laser therapy, but it is also on her journey into that particular direction. And of course, this is the other side, Celeste, the musical side, and one that she can deal with anybody anywhere in the world. And so you've got an event coming up. You've got celebration of life for someone you love that you want to do. You've got children that you'd like to have something for, whatever the case is. You have no idea whether it can be done or not until you reach out to Celeste. So reach out and do it. And we're going to close the show out with the full song. And you've had the intro. There will be a separate exit, which you won't hear today, but you're going to hear the full song and just let it lift up your wings and spread your joy and invite you to be all that you're meant to be. So thank you so much, Celeste.
You're welcome. Thanks, everybody.
Until next time, folks.
We all have to start somewhere, even if it's small. But taking inspiration from our conversations can make a difference for all. Find your path with the knowledge of others and become an illuminator for those who struggle. Guide their way just by being true and being lessons for millions. We hope you listen. Find your path with the knowledge of others, then become an illuminator. For those who struggle, guide their way just by being true and being in alignment, because it comes naturally to you. You will hear what is meant for you. Take it and pave your own path with the light of many luminaries before you, with wisdom